everyone. This is the mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Think Piece. Today I'm going to be talking about the situation between TJ Holmes and Amy Robach and why I really do not like it when married couples go on social media posting pictures of their relationships for the world to see as if things are all good. Okay, so Amy Robach and TJ Holmes were both co-hosts for the ABC show Good Morning America, and they were suspended because their affair is messy. Apparently, TJ Holmes wasn't just messing with Amy, he was also messing with another married producer and had a 3-year affair with her. Okay, TJ Holmes, his wife, found out about the situation, and that's probably what ended the affair. What's really interesting is the fact that TJ Holmes' first side piece, the 3-year relationship side piece, she was confiding in Amy about the details of their relationship. All of the people in this situation are married. TJ Holmes was married, Amy Robach was married, and his first side piece, she was also married. So here's an article talking about TJ Holmes' affair with the producer, not Amy Robach, the first side piece. So page 6 says, as if things couldn't get any messier. Before TJ Holmes started a relationship with his GMA3 co-anchor Amy Robach, he had a 3-year affair with married Good Morning America producer Natasha Singh that started in 2016. Multiple sources told Page 6 the cheating duo confided in Robach about their infidelity. Okay, so Robach was she was being informed about the situation, and apparently TJ piqued her interest. All right. Amy was the person they went to talk to about their affair and marriages. Oh my goodness. It's messy. And it's not messy in a good way. It's not enjoyable for me. This is just, really? How are you cheating on your spouse and then confiding in another woman about the cheatation and then end up cheating with her? Look, these people seem to be very lonely. A lot of married people are lonely and miserable in their marriages, which is why I do not like when they post pictures of their fake relationships on social media. I really don't. And it sounds like I'm being a hater. I don't hate on marriage, but I have had enough experience with married people to know that they cheat as much as, if not more than, single people, okay? I know this for sure. I have been approached by many married men to the point where I'm like, okay, you know, y'all are just, why even be married? What's the point of the game? Married and single men and women cheat a lot because, as I said earlier, all 3 of the people in this 3-ring circus were married to others. So, the article continues, Amy was the person they went to talk to about their affair and marriages, an insider claimed. Another source disputed that Robach was their confidant and insisted she didn't know about the affair until it was in its final stages. They told her about it right at the end. Now, if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, I apologize. I don't watch GMA3. It is wild corny to me. The article continues. Their affair started off long distance with Holmes based in New York and Singh working as a producer for the show from Los Angeles. Holmes was just a GMA correspondent at the time, and we're told they meet up for romps during his travels. Of course. Singh, who was also a yoga teacher and mediator, left the show in 2018 and moved to New York, where she started to work as a producer for CBS Mornings. That's when she and Holmes started spending even more time together. Okay. She fell in love with him. She had a key to her apartment. Okay? She was married and fell in love with another married man. Singh told us no comment when we reached out. Holmes' wife, Marilee Fiebig, found out about their affair in 2019 after discovering several emails. And as the rumors swirled around Holmes and Robach, Marilee never considered Amy because she was focused on Natasha. She never thought about him cheating with Amy because they were friends. Amy's daughter was their daughter's babysitter. This dude is wild messy, okay, and disrespectful. Now, when I first saw TJ Holmes years ago, I said, this man is gorgeous. This was like 6-7 years ago. He was on some BET show and he was doing something, but I said, this man's gorgeous, and whoever's with him, he's giving them problems. That's what I said automatically. I didn't know much about him, but he's a very attractive guy. Okay. So the article continues. Holmes ended the affair and the couple started working to reconcile their marriage through the pandemic. Robach, however, remained friends with Singh, and it angered Fearbig because she would see photos of them on Instagram, and she didn't understand how their friend and husband's co-host could remain friends with the woman who tried to break up their marriage. So TJ Holmes' wife thought that Amy was loyal to her. She had some sort of understanding and compassion about the situation, so she kind of trusted her, right? I think she's the one that hired the PI. Honestly. Oh, that's so gnarly. That's awful to do to somebody. Okay, you think you solved one problem, and it turns out the person you were confiding in and the person you trusted the most with your children, they're also in on it. This dude is messy. That's like a narc move. I'm not saying that's what he is because I don't know him personally, but that's like kind of a narc move. Like to be sleeping with a confidant and a friend and someone who your wife trusts. Like, this is a really gnarly, unfortunate situation. Yeah, so Singh's friendship with Robach, however, soured earlier this year around spring because Amy was so close to TJ. She probably found out they were messing around. That is so messy. This dude, TJ, has no emotional intelligence, or he really doesn't give a damn. Like, he really does not care. But it's hard for me to feel sorry for anybody because they're all married, okay? Singh was married when she started messing with TJ. Amy was married and TJ's married. The only victims here are TJ's wife and Amy's husband, okay? So Singh's friendship with Robach, however, soured earlier this year around spring because Amy was so close to TJ. This is just... It wasn't until the summer that Fearbig grew suspicious of Robach because they started seeming closer than colleagues. Multiple sources told us Holmes and Robach would have random meetings during the day and hit the pub to have drinks with each other. Still, Holmes and his wife were fully together in August and even celebrated his birthday with a trip to the Bahamas. It was there that Fearbig discovered a birthday card from Robach that was too personal, and it brought back the old Natasha drama. She couldn't trust him anymore, the third source said. So I think she was the one who hired the PI initially, because the Daily Mail has like crazy photos. He's touchy-feely all over her. They're going on vacations. They're getting out of cars together. It's a lot of evidence. And I think that TJ Holmes' wife is a lawyer. She's a blessing for Amy's husband because I heard he has a lot of money. And so, yeah, if she was being messy, this could potentially reduce any sort of financial settlement, alimony, child support, whatever. I don't know. Not child support, but alimony especially. But anyway, what's more interesting is the fact that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach cheated on their first spouses with their current spouses. So they're both cheaters, or they're both serial monogamous. They jump from one relationship to the next. There's always an overlap. They have a hard time being by themselves. Now, like Ime Udoka, TJ Holmes is a Leo, and I believe Amy Robach is an Aquarius, okay? They're opposite signs of each other, which is, it's cool. That's a very compatible synastry. However, when I saw the synastry charts, I saw that they have Mars square Mars. And Mars square Mars is excellent for sexual chemistry. It is excellent for just passion and vigor and just interest, right? And so sparks were definitely flying. There's definitely sexual chemistry between them. However, just like with Martell and Melody, when Mars gets involved and it's in a tense or angular aspect to any of the other personal planets, this is drama down the pipe, okay? There's going to be a fight for supremacy or dominance in this relationship. There is definitely a karmic connection between them because they also have Venus South Node aspects, but they're attracted to each other's shadow. That's what I'm thinking here. And this relationship, because it came together during the Uranus and Taurus transit, squaring both of their suns, I don't think it'll last long. I think this situation will burn out within 7 years. And even before that, to be honest, I don't think it'll last through to the end of this Uranus and Taurus transit, which ends in 2025. So when Uranus makes an aspect to a personal planet, especially an angular aspect, a square, an opposition, or even a conjunction, this causes radical change in the person's entire life, okay? So with Uranus square the sun, this is going to affect their career, which is the 10th house, their relationships and marriage, which is the 7th house, their home and family, which is the 4th house, and the way that people perceive them, which is the 1st house. In other words, I don't want to say bad actions, but their issues have caught up with them. They've done this more than once in the past. I think this will be TJ Holmes' second marriage, and this is Amy Robach's second marriage. They met their current spouses the same way. They were cheating on their first spouses. Now, I'm going to say this. It is very easy for work husbands and work wives to start affairs because, you're working with somebody who you have a lot in common with. You're working in the same industry. You're having deep discussions about things you're interested in throughout the day, right? You're attractive. You're spending more time at work than you do at home. Most working adults spend more time with their colleagues than they do their partners at home. So yeah, what TJ and Amy Robach were doing, it's not new. If you guys remember, MSNBC host Joe Scarborough and Mia Brzezinski's, their relationship started while they were still married. And they're married to each other now, right? So it's not uncommon. These people spend 10, 12 hours together. They're attractive people. They have a lot in common. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is why I do not pay attention to the BS that many married couples post on Instagram. It's not all married couples, okay? There are some happily married couples, fine. But over time, as boredom sets in and the chemistry gets a little weaker because you've spent so many years together, cheating is definitely a possibility. I'm not saying that all spouses cheat. All spouses don't cheat. There are some married couples who've been faithful for 45, 50 years. However, that's not common. That's rare, actually. I believe it's rare. I think that married people cheat more than or as much as single people, period. People need to stop acting like marriage is the end all be all because a lot of married people are miserable. And it's not because I want them to be miserable. It's because the institution of marriage in and of itself, it's not about romance and fairy tales. It's business. Marriage at the end of the day is a business, okay? And sometimes you want some fun on the side because you're just focused on bills and responsibilities and children, and there's no more passion and romance. And when I saw the pictures of Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, they seemed to be like giddy and having fun. They were having fun together. A lot of people are addicted to that new car smell in relationships, especially narcissists, okay? I'm not saying that Amy and TJ are narcissists, but for TJ to be messing with 3 women in the same circle at the same time, that's a lot. That is a lot. He's at least very messy, and he doesn't really have any, his sensitivity chip is missing. He was really SHITing where he ate. He was doing a whole lot of messiness, had a little harem going. And I don't know who dropped dime about the situation, but it could have been, the wife who hired the PI. Somebody hired someone to follow them, okay? Because it looks like whoever was taking the pictures was trying to tell a story. I think that whoever did this wanted him to be put on blast because they felt disrespected. And that's why I'm looking at the wife. I'm not saying she's wrong for doing it. If she did, I'm not saying that she's wrong for feeling the way she feels. So fast forward to yesterday. I'm going to read an article from the Philadelphia Inquirer. And the article is titled, "Where Are Amy Robach and TJ Holmes? ABC pulls Good Morning America host off air amid affair rumors. GMA3 host Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are suspended from their on-air hosting duties amid alleged affair rumors swirling." This is Saturn here. Saturn's in Aquarius, in TJ Holmes' 7th house of relationships and partnerships, and in Amy Holmes' 1st house of personality, opposing the 7th house of marriage and partnerships. Now, I don't have their rising signs. I'm using their sun sign as their rising sign, which from my experience is almost as accurate, okay, as we can see here. So, the article continues, while Good Morning America 3 hosts Amy Robach and TJ Holmes take over phone screens and tabloid pages, they will notably be absent from television screens. Monday morning, ABC leadership announced during an editorial meeting that the afternoon show hosts were suspended from their on-air duties amid alleged affair rumors. ABC News boss Kim Godwin called the rumors an internal and external distraction, but added that the alleged relationship did not violate company policy. Tabloid articles and paparazzi photos revealed an alleged romantic relationship between Robach and Holmes, who hosts GMA3, What You Need to Know Daily at 1 p.m. The alleged relationship is said to have developed this year. Both hosts are married to other people. Now, we're in December. Earlier this year, it could be January, it could be February, it could be April, but it's been going on for several months. The rumors have taken a life of their own on social media, where culture vultures are dissecting the hosts' alleged affair details over TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Am I a culture vulture? for talking about this. Neither host, their respective spouses, nor ABC has spoken out publicly about the rumors to date. I wonder why they use the term culture vultures to discuss this. Maybe you guys can help me out. I know what culture vulture means, but in this context, it's a little bit weird. Anyway, neither host, their respective spouses, nor ABC has spoken out publicly about the rumors to date. The hosts did not reference the rumors on any episodes of GMA3 they've hosted since the story first broke. Both hosts deleted their respective Instagram accounts. What does this mean for Good Morning America? Holmes and Robach have yet to publicly comment on rumors, nor has ABC's leadership released a statement about the alleged couple. Monday's live show at 1 p.m. will be the first time Robach and Holmes do not appear together because of the rumors. ABC national news correspondent Stephanie Ramos and transportation correspondent Gio Benitez served as Monday's interim host alongside regular host Jen Ashton, known as Dr. Jen. So how did the interim hosts address Robach and Holmes' absence? Amy Robach and TJ Holmes had the day off, Ramos said Monday when the show began. Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised if they were messing around too. I would not be surprised, okay? I'm not saying they're doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie Ramos and Gio Benitez weren't privy to what's going on. This happens in a lot of professions where the hours are a little bit off, right? Especially in nursing. Nurses work at hospitals for 12 hours a day sometimes. Sometimes they do 16-hour shifts, okay? And they're working alongside with doctors who are also working long shifts. And so they spend a lot of time together. This is just what it is, you know? I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but when you have attractive people working together for long periods of time with common interests, they're away from their spouses, they're lonely, they're stressed, this is what ends up happening. You know, having an affair or starting a new relationship makes people feel happy. It brings them a sense of pleasure that their work or the stresses of life has taken away from them. That's just what it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm not surprised about this. So how did the interim hosts address that? Okay, it's unclear if the show will rotate anchors the rest of the week or if Ramos and Benitez will continue as interim hosts. The timeline for Robach and Holmes' suspension is also unclear. Godwin said the pair will be off air as we figure this out. And that's fair. Listen, I don't think that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach are like inherently bad people because of the affair. But at the very least, TJ Holmes is very messy and disrespectful to be sleeping with 3 women within the same circle at the same time. That's what it seems like to me. And as I've said earlier, I've witnessed situations like this, you know, when I was working in certain spaces and the boss will be having an affair with the coworker who's also married. Married men do not have a monopoly on infidelity. A lot of married women are bored too. So this is why I always tell you guys to get married for the right reasons. It is not a walk in the park. It is not a fairy tale. That whole wedding shtick, that's just a bait to get you to sign off on a situation that's going to be boring and predictable and not passionate for the rest of your life. And some people, again, they are enticed by the allure of doing something different, of having a different energy around them. The men and women do this, okay? I told you guys about ARC, Alan Rogers Curie, who said he spent 20 years sleeping with married women. He was sleeping with married women for 20 years. There are that many married women who were unhappy with their spouses. And so they started to cheat. Now, it may be that they were, getting revenge on their husbands for cheating, or they could have just been bored. And this is why I would never feel bad about not being married. I don't want to get married. I never wanted to get married because the institution of marriage in and of itself is very liberating. It's very constrictive. And so what ends up happening is that the spouses, the husband and the wife, they lose their identity in the marriage and what it represents. Okay. And so many times they end up losing themselves in the relationship just for the sake of maintaining the relationship. One partner may not want to travel. One partner may have different hobbies and interests. Another partner may not want to do household chores and duties. Like, there's so many different variables at stake here that you would have to consider when you're getting married. And, whether you're happy or not, you're encouraged to stick it out with someone you may not be compatible with. But for the sake of the institution, the pension, and the houses, and the kids, and the 401k, and retirement, it now becomes a financial decision whether or not you stay married, and not a personal fulfillment and happiness decision. And yes, healthy marriages are great for children, right? Healthy co-parenting situations are also good for children. But I don't think that TJ Holmes and Amy Robach's children are happy in this situation now, right? I don't know what they've been witnessing, but children can pick up on signs that something's wrong at home. But at the same time, again, TJ Holmes' current wife, she was apparently the side piece in his first marriage, and so was Amy Robach's husband. This is why I tell people to stay away from cheaters. When I talked about Ariana and Martell, I said that even if Ariana and Martell ended up together, he had done so much damage to their relationship that she would not be able to trust him. She wouldn't feel comfortable with him. She would be looking over her shoulder the same way Melody was in the last years of their marriage, because he's a serial cheater, or what you would call a serial monogamous, someone who doesn't know how to be single for 1 second. There's always somebody that they're ready to pounce on. They always need a soft place to land because they're very insecure. That's what I'm saying, okay? I could be wrong and I could be right. You're not a bad person if you cheat on your spouse. You're just bored. And listen, I'm gonna say this too. It is selfish for married people to hold the status of their relationship, right? Being a wife or a husband over the heads of others, to say that, yes, I'm a wife. I should be put on a pedestal above single people, single women, right? I got chose. I have a husband. And in the background, these married people who are bragging on social media about the state of their relationship, they're dipping into the single pool. They want to be married and single, right? They want the status of being married and the security of being married, but they also want the freedom and the passion that comes with being a single person, because single people have the opportunity to meet new partners on a regular basis because there's no contract binding them. So when a single person wants to break up with somebody, they can just move on to the next, and they go through the whole romance stage again, the flowers and the dating and the great sex and whatever. And married people miss that. And some of them envy that too. They envy not being able to feel those butterflies in their stomach again. It's not all married couples, again, because some married couples are very happy. Some married couples, they don't have your eyes for anybody else, and that is awesome. But I've heard many married people say that they would not do it again. Okay? If they had a second chance, they would either marry somebody else, or they would wait, or they would not do it again. Many people get married for economic reasons. They get married for social status. This is what happens. And so when you get married for the wrong reasons, you end up sabotaging the relationship in one way or another, or you end up cheating, right? Or you end up using the status symbol of being a husband and a wife to compensate for being lonely, for being bored, for being undersexed, okay? For losing passion. At least I'm married. And that happens a lot. Again, I don't have no problem with marriage. I think marriage is a wonderful institution where two people are equally yoked. They're both happy. They're respecting each other. And, there's mutual goals that they're accomplishing together. I think that's wonderful. But a lot of times, these married people are very selfish, and they try to dip into the single pool and act single while going on social media bragging about how important marriage is and how much they love their spouse. And they use that as a status symbol, especially women. The men are like, whatever. But many women, okay, especially the Black community, many women tout having a husband as being the ultimate goal in life, the ultimate end all be all. Meanwhile, they're getting their backs blown out in the utility closet, in the conference room, okay? So yeah, for women who are single, please do not envy married people. Do not say, I wish I was married. I wish I had what they had. If I was married, my life would be so much easier. No, it would not. I'm not saying that all spouses cheat, but I'm saying that forever is a long time. Imagine being with someone for 10, 15 years, and you're only in your mid-40s or your early 50s, and you forgot what it feels like to be on a first date with someone that you're really attracted to. And there's so much chemistry between you guys, and you miss that passionate connection, that energy, and you miss being courted, especially if you're married to somebody who is doing the bare minimum. Then you're really going to be like, damn, I wish I waited. Or damn, I'm bored, right? So it is what it is. I never feel some kind of way but irritated when women brag about being married. I'm like, okay, but those of us who are single know that a lot of husbands pursue single women. They're bored in their marriages, okay? So everything looks good on the surface. Do not make your marriage your whole identity. Do not make your husband and the ring and the status of being a wife your entitled identity, because a lot of it is a facade and you don't even know it. Or secretly on the inside, you may be feeling miserable yourself. Now, to the couples who have great marriages, I think that's awesome too. Whatever you're doing to make your marriage work, you need to bottle it up and sell it to the married folk who are miserable as hell. Okay? Because when we say something about marriages as a single people, we're told that we're haters and we don't know nothing because marriage is sacrifice and hard work, as if we don't know that. I don't need to be married to give marriage advice, okay? Marriage advice isn't only saying leave him, girl. It's also about understanding the nuances of a situation and providing guidance based on the information that's presented. It's not just leave him, girl, he ain't shit. No, that's not always the case, right? So yeah, married folk, don't make marriage your whole identity. And stop flexing on the gram about your fake ass relationships, because when it hits the fan, it makes things look worse for you, right? Single folk, stop envying married people because appearances can be deceiving, especially on social media. I just talked about Hazel E a couple days ago and how she was so eager to get married that she married a bum, but was all over social media showing off her ring and her husband. But on the back end, she was getting her ass beat and robbed and cheated on. Like, come on. Stop doing that, okay? Stop putting marriage on a pedestal and have realistic expectations about your relationships. Once you do that, you won't be as disappointed and you won't be as bored, because you'll go into the marriage knowing that it's hard work, you're going to be bored, you're going to be tired, you're not going to be attracted to your spouse, you're going to be irritated, and you can still work through those feelings without having to cheat with your married boss or your married coworker or with single people in these streets, right? Right. All right, I'm going to end it off by reading an article from Hack Spirit titled Infidelity Statistics 2022. How much cheating is going on? Okay, so the article says, being cheated on is a gut-wrenching experience. Nobody wants it to happen to them, and few of us would ever even imagine that the person we love and care about could stab us in the back so brutally. But cheating happens. In fact, it happens a lot. Infidelity remains the number one reason that married and unmarried relationships end all across the world. This is an in-depth guide to infidelity. What's the truth about how many people are cheating and their motivations, gender, and relationship types? Here's the cold, hard truth. Nobody wants to get cheated on, but many of us will be cheated on. We have the statistics, polls, analysis, interviews, and the research. Who is cheating? Why? And where? Do men cheat more or do women? We'll also take a look at other kinds of cheating, including emotional cheating and financial cheating. The article continues, what do the numbers say? The overall numbers on infidelity are alarmingly high. Some websites have published unverified numbers claiming that about 40% of unmarried relationships and 25% of marriages see at least one incident of infidelity. Another estimate from the Journal of Marriage and Divorce concludes that a mind-blowing 70% of married Americans cheat at least once in their marriage. They didn't say men only, they didn't say women, they said married Americans. More reliable numbers from the U.S. General Social Survey point to lower statistics for infidelity, but they are still worrisomely high. According to the General Social Survey, 20% of men cheat compared to 13% of women. I don't believe those numbers. According to the LA Intelligence Detective Agency, the numbers are somewhat higher. They write that 30 to 60% of married couples will cheat at least once in the marriage. That's a huge disparity, 30 to 60%. Split the difference. Just say 45 to 50%. Jeez. 74% of men and 68% of women admit they'd cheat if it was guaranteed they'd never get caught. 74%, or 3 out of 4 men, and 68% of women, or 2 out of 3 women, give or take a few points, they admit that they cheat if it was guaranteed they'd never get caught. Now, why would you cheat on your knight in shining armor? Wedding people, married folk, why would you do that? 60% of affairs start with close friends or co-workers. It's all about opportunity and proximity, okay? Meaning that if you haven't cheated, more than likely it's because you haven't met the right person to cheat with yet, okay? That's just what it is. It's not always the case, but it's very common. An average affair lasts 2 years. TJ was messing with this lady Singh for about 3 years. 69% of marriages break up as a result of an affair being discovered. This is not what any of us want to hear, but the ugly truth is better than a beautiful lie. So let's find out the truth about cheating. Why do people cheat? The usual reason that people assume for cheating is that one or both partners are not happy. are unsatisfied, or are having other personal problems. The truth is more complicated. As LA Intelligence Detective Agency notes, statistics show that 56% of men and 34% of women who commit infidelity rate their marriages as happy or very happy. This makes the reason people cheat a little harder to dissect and comprehend. So all these happily married folks on Instagram and social media and Facebook, they're cheating because of what? They miss the thrill of being courted. They miss the thrill of new sex, right? That's just me saying this. So the article continues, for American and European women, the number one reason was that their partner did not pay enough attention to them. And the least important reason was that American women were bored and European women needed to feel sexy. See, for American and European men, the reason was that the other person they had an affair with was very hot. And the least important reason was that their partner was no longer paying attention to them. So that wasn't the, a lot of these husbands don't really care about attention from their wives. In fact, the less attention, the better, because they'll have more time to pursue the hot young girl at the office. That's just what it is. If your wife is too nosy, then you can't do that. You can't cheat in peace. So yeah, and from what I'm gleaning from this article, the women wanted to feel attractive. They missed the courting and the romance, right, of being pursued by a person. And the men, they wanted a shiny new object. They saw a beautiful hot girl and was like, wow, I'm not married. My wife is. Okay. So I'm going to read all this stuff. I'm not reading all this. Out of those who do cheat, the reasons, forms of cheating, and consequences vary considerably. The website The Truth About Deception maintains a poll for cheaters that is updated daily. It currently has 94,600 respondents. The poll allows users who have cheated to anonymously say why they cheated, how many times, and more information. The results as of March 23rd, 2021 shows some fascinating info. 43.7% of cheating women and 22.2% of cheating men have cheated on their spouse with someone they both know. So the women are messy, okay? 72.1% of cheated males cheated in a one-night stand, while only 53.1% of cheating women cheated by having a one-night stand. So yeah, most men, they just pump and dump. And this is why I tell these side pieces to fall back, because more than likely, the man that you're cheating with, he has more than one side piece. This is what Ariane found out, okay? Most married men have multiple side pieces if they're approaching you, period. 53.1% of cheating women have cheated on their husband more than once. 66.9% of cheating men have cheated on their wife more than once. 40% of cheating females and 30.5% of cheating males have engaged in cyber sex with someone other than their spouse. So after they posted their photos to Instagram of the family together, going on vacations, they went in their DMs and started talking to somebody else. What is going on? What are y'all doing? Okay, 34.6% of cheating females and 25.9% of cheating males did so because they were bored with their sex life. So women are more bored than men. And women are using social media to cheat more than men are. Okay, 73.7% of cheating females and 48.1% of cheating males were motivated to be unfaithful due to problems in their relationship. So men can cheat when things are perfectly fine at home, but most times women cheat when they're not getting their needs met. Whatever those needs are, that's relative to the person. 49% of cheating females and 19.8% of cheating males thought about splitting up because of the affair. So women are more likely to want to leave their spouse for their new man than the husbands are. And I think this is one of the reasons why Singh, who was TJ Holmes' first side piece, I think this affair caused her to divorce her husband. They're not together anymore, from what I was reading. I could be wrong. And also, this is also the reason why men get more offended when women cheat, because most times women have emotional affairs. So 40% of women who cheat are willing to leave their husbands for the person they cheated with, because there's a lot more to lose, right, for women, especially when it comes to physical health. So if a woman is willing to cheat with a man, she feels like he's worth the risk, which means that he's a better option than my man currently. He makes me feel better than this guy does. I don't know what the trade-off is, but anyway, 30.3% of cheating females and 15.2% of cheating males did so to get even with their partner, right? We saw this happen with Melody Martell. It happens all the time. And I mentioned it earlier. A lot of women cheat for the get back. It's not always the case, but yeah, it happens. 30% is actually pretty high. 47.8% of cheating females and 39% of cheating males were caught by their significant others. So women were sloppier? Maybe because they caught feelings for the guy. That's what I'm thinking. Or it's because they wanted to cheat because they weren't getting attention from their husbands. So it's like, if you're not going to give it to me, somebody else will. And 39% of cheating males were caught by their significant other. Wow. In addition, 44% of people aged 17 to 24 admitted they cheated at least once to get back with their ex after a breakup. What did I say before about these rebound relationships? And 53% of the respondents admitted to having sex with their ex. This is why it's not good to get into rebound relationships, because more than likely, the person who has just broken up with their partner, they still have feelings for that individual. And you're just there to make them feel better about not being with who they really want to be with. You're just a placeholder. That's wild disrespectful. The likelihood of cheating does seem to correspond to marital status as well. As far as the numbers show, it seems to make a big difference if you're married or not, or at least correlate to an overall difference. There's a 20% chance of a first marriage resulting in divorce within 5 years. In comparison, couples who cohabitate for 5 years have a 50% chance of separating. Similarly, married couples have a 33% chance of divorce within 10 years, whilst cohabitating couples have a 62% chance of splitting up in this time frame. Why would you stay together if you don't have to? These statistics indicate that married couples are likely to remain together longer than couples who choose to cohabitate but do not marry. Of course, that's the point of not getting married, so I can leave when I feel like it. What goes on in cheaters' minds? The article continues. Of course, only the cheater themselves knows, they're missing the word knows what's going on in their minds and in their underpants. But there are definitely gender differences in motivation that emerge in polling across the world. And they're posting a quote from Fatherly, okay? Men are more prone to casual and opportunistic cheating, like TJ Holmes. If they're available and they're in the office, yay, I'm here. Here I am, which plays a big part in why they get caught. Infidelity for many men is evidence of recklessness. For women, however, cheating may be evidence of a more thought-out plan to address perceived needs. The potential cost of being sexually reckless is otherwise too high. I just said that. See? Intimate partner violence, which 1 out of 3 women experience at some point, that's a lot, that's 30%, is often triggered by infidelity. So because women have a lot more to lose, they're more likely to cheat with someone who they consider worthy of replacing their partner. Right? It's not a game for women. Men do it because they can, but women do it. They have to be a lot more careful with who they select. And so they usually choose a man that's worth getting lumped up for if their spouse finds out. Okay? All right. So the article continues, it's often not about looks either. In fact, a reputable study cited by HuffPost found that a majority of people surveyed cheated on the partner with someone who they considered less physically attractive than their spouse. Furthermore, only 25% of men found the woman they were having an affair with to be more interesting than their wife. As Sophia Mura writes for Bride magazine, there are 4 main traits that make someone more likely to cheat. Namely, they rank low for agreeableness and conscientiousness. Your lives are not intertwined. You see their differences as flaws, and they've become narcissistic. According to Mark Manson, the main reason people in relationships cheat is when one's need for self-gratification outweighs their need for intimacy. But a 3-year affair is not something that is casual. Okay, he's getting into relationships with these women like Martell was doing with Ariane. Like, a 5-year affair is no longer casual. You are having an emotional affair and a physical one behind your wife's back. So there's something else missing there, right? All right, back to the article. In other words, the desires of the moment and lust for immediate satisfaction temporarily outpaces their desire to be respectful and loyal to the love and relationship they have waiting at home. It is not always some big problem going on. In many cases, it's plain temptation and the heat of the moment. Especially, and this is me talking here, especially if you're spending 10, 12, 14 hours a day working together. You're attractive, you smell good, you look good, and you have a lot in common, right? Both TJ and Amy apparently were unhappily married. That was a source of bonding for them, potentially, right? They were also friends, so to speak, before they became lovers. You see? So the article continues, how did people meet the person they're cheating with? The chart below shows some of the common places cheaters meet their mistress, boy, or toy. 40% of women, they were friends. 32% of men were friends. 33% of married women cheat with colleagues, right, at work, while only 28.6% of men cheat with their colleagues. So women are doing it more than men. What's the point of the sexual harassment situation then? Men are getting sexually harassed at work too, from what I've gleaned. And the Me Too movement was about women being approached by men in positions of power to use their bodies for a come up, right? Being sexually harassed or sexually propositioned by more powerful men so that they can keep their job or they can get promotions and raises. I think that some women take advantage of this. I don't think that all of them are victims, period. 17.5% of women meet these men out and about, and 21.8% of cheating husbands meet their side pieces out and about. Okay, right. Now the article continues again. Why do women cheat? Obviously, every woman is different. That said, women tend to cheat for very different reasons than men. In general, women cheat when they feel a lack of intimacy and feel ignored by their partner, whereas men are more visual and tend to cheat due to immediate temptation. That's why TJ was sleeping with two women in the same job. Nonetheless, women are not always cheating for deep reasons. Sometimes, like men, they get caught up in the heat of the moment. As Jeremy Brown explains, some women cheat to avoid boredom, like I said. Other women cheat because they feel neglected. Still, other women say they cheat just because they want to. The reasons for infidelity are complex and unique to each relationship. Yes, the concept of a cheating wife contrasts a lot with what our culture tells us about women. To many, the thought triggers stronger reactions than that of a cheating man, which is more expected based on historical norms. What this means is that many cultures still idealize women, white women in particular, not black women, as perfect beings who never get horny or tempted. This is why Jada Pinkett got so much smoke for what happened with her and August Alsina. That situation was messy, but Will had been cheating for years. He had his own, they have an arrangement. They've been had an arrangement. But the fact that Jada, had an affair on this perfect male, got people really upset for various reasons. The truth is that while women are more likely to cheat for reasons of feeling a lack of love and wanting something more serious, plenty of women do cheat because they want to try sex with someone new. It's not just a male thing, contrary to the popular myth. Of course, they get bored. They want to feel courted again. They want the romance and the flowers and the hot sex. That's what happens, right? Now, back to the article again. Why do men cheat? Men generally have different motivations for infidelity than women, although every case varies. Men tend to be more visual and get tempted into infidelity by their physical desires. However, once you dig deeper, there are usually more disquieting reasons why men cheat. According to psychologist Robert Weiss, once you cut through the excuses and denial, the real primary reasons men cheat are the following: immaturity, other problems. What is that? Low self-esteem, too cowardly to just end things, wants to get another side piece before ending things, right? He wants a soft place to land. Impulsivity, childhood abuse, or to get revenge on his partner. That's a lot. That's very dark. Y'all sure y'all want to marry these people? That's a lot. We saw what happened with Martell and Melody. We saw the impulsivity, right? Low self-esteem, immaturity, childhood abuse potentially, right? And also revenge. Now, why would a man feel the need to get revenge on his wife? Martell was doing this to Melody. He was getting revenge on her for being more successful than him. I wonder if TJ Holmes was getting revenge on his wife because she was, I don't even think it was revenge, but the disrespect was so blatant and he was so unhappy. There was something else going on, in my opinion, that was deeper than just him being attracted to Amy. Amy is not an ugly woman, but sorry, okay? It was a proximity thing. And she was more than likely very flirtatious with him as well, okay? Both of them were flirting with each other. But anyway, Wise says that a man who is immature and has other issues like a sexual addiction, drug use, or alcoholism may cheat as a part of a broader lifestyle issue, or he may also be seeking validation from women other than his mate, using the extracurricular spark of interest to feel wanted, desired, and worthy. We saw this with Martell. This is why I mentioned that, what TJ was doing was a bit narcissistic. To be sleeping with 3 women who know each other intimately, that's a lot, okay? In addition, Wise says that sometimes men get infatuated and aren't really into it, quickly tapping out to seek some new nookie because he's mistaking the neurochemical rush of early romance, technically referred to as limerence, for love, right? And fails to understand that in healthy, long-term relationships, limerence is replaced over time with less intense, but ultimately more meaningful forms of connection. Right, they want the thrill and the rush and the passion. I think that's what they're looking for. When I saw TJ and Amy's pictures from the Daily Mail, they looked giddy, as if they were like school kids again. It made them feel young. They're both in their 40s and 50s. So I think that they want that passionate romance, that feeling again. It wasn't about the person necessarily. It was just that they made each other feel like they were young again. They made each other feel like there was something to look forward to. Listen, limerence is a very intoxicating feeling, okay? So, when a man cheats to break up, he may do it because he's too scared to tell her straight up and he wants her to do the hard work. Or White says he may want to end his current relationship, but not until he's got another one lined up. That is exactly what TJ did with his first wife, and that's exactly what Amy did with her first husband, okay? These are 2 people who do not want to be alone. All right? Sometimes a guy just cheats because the chance comes up. As White says, he may never have even thought about cheating until an opportunity suddenly presented itself. Then, without even thinking about what infidelity might do to his relationship, he went for it. Impulsivity, proximity, opportunity. These things happen. Who cheats more? Men cheat more than women. As stated, according to the General Social Survey, 20% of married men admitted to cheating and 13% of women. But the amount of women cheating has gone up 40% over the past several decades from this past minuscule amount. I think it's more than 13% of women. Honestly, I think it's at least 20%. In addition, some researchers wonder if the number of women is actually higher. See? But women are just less likely to admit it to an affair than men. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Apps like Tinder and dating apps have made it easier for men and women to cheat and hide it from their spouse, especially if they stick to sexting for the initial phase of the affair. Millennials are more likely to cheat using apps, especially with fully 11% saying that they use apps to cheat on their partner. Polling from the National Opinion Research Center at the University of Chicago shows that more women are cheating than ever before because they're working more outside the home, especially in younger demographics, with 12.9% of U.S. women between 18 to 24 saying they've cheated and 15.9% of U.S. males in the same age range. On adults over 65% of years old, only 10% of women cheated and 25% of men, showing just how dramatic the rise in younger women cheating has been. I don't believe that number either. I think the numbers of women cheating are higher, but because of social stigma, they're going to say, oh no, I didn't do it. So I would add a few more points to that number. In other words, a lot of men cheat, but more and more younger women are getting in on the backstabbing now too. The highest age bracket for cheating women is not younger women, however, it's still women between the ages of 50 to 59 years old. Amy Robach is 50 years old, right? 51 years old. Yeah. A trend which has been recognizable for years, but now has switched from the 90s when women between 40 to 49 had the highest cheating rate. I think that's because women who are 50 to 59, they're probably about 10 to 15 years into their first or second marriage. Women are getting married older, so the 50 to 59-year-old range may indicate that they've been married for like 20 or 15 years now, right? At that point. And so they're bored. So if they were getting married younger, then those numbers would be lower. It wouldn't be 50 to 59. It would go back to 40 to 49. But many women are choosing their careers first, and then they're getting married later. So around a 10 to 15 year mark, they get bored and like, yes, I need somebody new. That's basically what it is. In terms of demographic breakdowns in the U.S., the Institute for Family Studies has a lot of data. Black Americans cheat more than other races. with 22% of Black Americans admitting they've cheated compared to 16% of whites overall and 13% of Hispanics. I don't believe the Hispanic number for one hot second. I do not. I know lots of Hispanics. I live in New York City. Hispanic culture is heavily infused in the city. Hispanic culture is very patriarchal and very chauvinistic. These men don't have a problem abusing their wives, their Hispanic wives, okay? I'm not saying it's, they're the only ones doing it, but Hispanic men don't play. So yeah, I think it's underreported because the consequences for Hispanic women are a lot more dire than I think other races of women. But these Hispanic men, the culture is very chauvinistic. So yeah, I think that's underreported, most definitely. This is why you should not envy people who are married. And this is why, married people should not base their entire identity on being married. Don't rush into something that you're not prepared for. That's all. Don't put it on a pedestal. 1 out of 3 Black men are cheating compared to 20% of married white men and 16%. Okay, so yeah, married Hispanic men are cheating way more than 16%. 20% of married white men, I think they're cheating more than that too. I think this is underreported, definitely. And Black men, 3 out of 10. 1 out of 3 Black men are going to cheat. Wow. Well, I'm not surprised by that at all. I really am not. I think that's underreported too. So 1 out of 3 Black women you see flossing their rings on Instagram are being cheated on by their husbands. This is why, girls, please stop putting marriage on a pedestal. Stop being desperate for marriage. Please stop doing it, okay? It's not all that it's cracked up to be. It's not a bad thing. But 30% of Black men are cheating on their spouses? Age also has a significant impact on cheating. Men and women both cheat more in middle age, between 51 and 59 years old is the peak, with 31% of women and men in the age bracket admitting they, yeah, because they've been married for a long time at that point. They've been married, they rushed to get married in their 30s, right? Or in their late 20s, and now they've been married for 15, 20 years, and it's no longer something to floss and stun about because it's boring. And so the kids are grown, they're off to college, and now somebody's flabby and sick, right? They've gained weight, they're not sexy anymore, whatever happens. And they get bored and they try to dip into the single pool to poach single people and lure them into an affair while holding on to the illusion of being married, of happily married. They want the social status of being married while having the passion of a single life and relationship. That's being selfish, is it not? I don't know. Education level has no known correlation with cheating. Of course not. Politically, the results are missed. I don't care about that. How long do most affairs last? 25% of affairs last under a week. 65% last under 6 months. 10% last more than 6 months. 65 last under, okay, that's not. In other words, the most you're likely to get out of an affair is a few months. And that's also true that cheaters tend to be repeat offenders. That's why you leave the first time. Even though it can be tempting to give a cheating woman or man another chance, the statistics show that they're much more likely to do the dirt again, of course. In fact, cheaters have a 350% higher chance of cheating again than someone who's never cheated. Oh, Lord. The final section I'll look at, because it's a long article, which professions cheat more? According to the investigation hotline, the most likely professions to cheat that they have investigated are those in the trades, medical professions, and entrepreneurs. 29% of male cheaters are plumbers, laying pipe, electricians, etc., and only 4% of women are in the trades. 23% of women on Ashley Madison are in nursing or medicine, while only 5% of men are. I was reading about stereotypes of nurses, and there was nurses are the least trustworthy partners to have because they're always cheating. I didn't believe it and I didn't understand it, but now I kind of do, because if you're spending 12 to 16 hours in a high stress environment with other attractive, highly accomplished, intelligent people, then you're going to form emotional and sexual bonds with them. There's some chemistry being created here. So it makes sense. Well, 11% of cheating women and 11% of cheating men are entrepreneurs. 12% of whatever. Okay. Career also has another link to cheating. Since those who are financially dependent on their spouse are more likely to cheat. That means those in lower paying jobs or who are not working will generally cheat more on their partner. So if you're married to a bum more than likely they will cheat on you. Or if you're married to a stay-at-home husband or a stay-at-home wife, then they have more opportunities to cheat, because more than likely they're looking for some sort of validation, okay, while you're out there making the money and taking it home, right? All right. When it comes to IQ, there also seems to be a connection, since men with higher IQs are in general less likely to cheat, probably because they can, do a cost to benefit analysis. Like, okay, if I cheat, I'm gonna lose my money, I'm gonna lose my self-respect, I'm gonna lose my esteem. I can control my sexual urges. They probably rationalize their feelings more than people who are less intelligent. Those who go on business trips, like TJ Holmes and his first mistress Singh, they're more likely to cheat. According to a poll from Glidden that surveyed 8,000 people, 62% of men and 57% of women said they cheat on a business trip. Wow. That's why the military has so many cheaters too, because they're always out away from home. So yeah, it happens. All right, that's enough of this article. I'm going to post a link to it in the description box. I'm also going to post links to the Page 6 and the Philadelphia Inquirer articles if you want to read them. If you want to order a personal tarot or astrology reading, you can go to my website, fill out the order entry form, and submit payment via CashApp or Stripe. I look forward to reading your comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.